Hey, what's up, y'all? So this account on Twitter, Joe G, SEC Digger, has been putting out really amazing work. He does research and will generate these charts using a lot of banking data that's available. And he posted this yesterday or today, this series of charts, and I wanted to touch on a little bit of where this data comes from. If you're in the banking or finance industry, you probably take one look at this and know, more or less where it all comes from. But this is basically for everybody else who wants to know, where this data is coming from. Okay, so if you wanted to find all this yourself, essentially he puts all the clues and relevant info down here in the footnotes at the bottom of his chart. So if we zoom in here, scroll down, you're going to see this info. This is basically where he's telling you where you can go to find the source data for this. Okay, so the first thing you'll see here is the source, and it's saying there FFIEC FRY9C reports. Okay, so if you go to this site here, shown here, ffiec.gov/npw, you'll get this page. And so let's go up to the top of this chart here. We can see top item on the list is Ocean Bank shares. So if we come here, okay, so I put in Ocean Bank shares into the institution name. All right, I'll just do another search actually. Yeah, just hit enter there, and it'll come up with this these results here, only one result. So let's see here. I'll click on that. Okay, so when you get this page for the particular bank, he mentioned the FRY9C report, so we'll expand that. And here you can see the different reports for different periods. And so we'll go with 2022 December 31st right here, and we'll do the PDF. Okay, so once you do that, you'll have the PDF loaded. It's pretty long document. This one in particular is about 76 pages. So if you look at what the chart's presenting, it's basically commercial real estate loans divided by total assets. So so for Ocean Bank shares, it's somewhere 70 something percent. It's basically saying you take the commercial real estate loans and divided by total assets, and you're going to get this percentage right here. And so when I said commercial real estate loans, specifically, I mean like he describes here, it's loans and leases, on that are on their assets, that are in particular secured by real estate. So to generate this data, part of that is getting the total assets. Okay, so once again, if we scroll down to the footnotes here, we'll see where it says total assets, Schedule HC line 12. That tells us where to go in the report. Okay, so if you scroll through that report I downloaded a little while ago, um, you'll see there's a page for Schedule HC consolidated balance sheet. That's what he's mentioning here in the total assets, right? Schedule HC, there you can see it's Schedule HC, and he's saying line 12, so there it is, line 12, that's total assets. So that's where he's getting the total assets from. So as I mentioned, the other data point here is the loans and leases secured by real estate, right? Because this is showing the loans and leases secured by real estate divided by total assets. So as far as that particular data point, or actually a bunch of data points which comprise loans and leases secured by real estate, down at the bottom, he's got this line item here where he mentions loans and leases secured by real estate, domestic offices only, and right here he's telling you where he gets it from. Schedule HC-C lines 1A through E. So let's take a look at that. Okay, and so I went ahead and pulled that up. I've got it in a little screenshot here. So there, remember he mentions Schedule HC-C, right? So that's the page from the report. This is it, Schedule HCC, and he's mentioning lines 1A through E. And you can see here there's A, B, C, D, E, etc. So he's basically taking all those numbers and presenting them in the chart. Or I guess you could say, he's taken. Well, okay, so each of these are represented as these different colors, and you can see the legend here. So that's how those are broken down. But you'll notice if and just actually visually looking at it, you can see you can tell visually it's sorted by the sum of the orange and the yellow components, right? Because you can see they're coming down uniformly, and so you can see here he's telling you sorted by line 1E. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so 1E is just this one right here, secured by non-farm residential properties. And you can see there's not a number for that one. It's actually broken down into these two components, 1 and 2. And so he's summing, I believe what he's doing is he's summing these two line items for each bank, of course, and then sorting by um, that value. Or I guess I should say he's adding these two numbers together, then dividing by the total assets number, and then sorting by that result, right? He's getting a percentage and then sorting by that. Okay, so the next thing to maybe consider here is where he's getting the data to do this analysis from. I mean, it's obviously I wouldn't recommend downloading every single report and compiling those. I mean, you theoretically could, but yeah. So where do you get the bulk data for this? So it's at this URL here. You can see on the screen. When you go there, let's see, you get this drop down for the year. We'll go to 2022. And there you can see some linked zip files, one for each quarter. I mostly wanted to talk about the actual charts and kind of explain where the data is coming from. I'll touch upon a little bit of the bulk data here, just a couple of items. When you expand that bulk data, you're going to get this really large text file. It looks to be about 12 megs or so. And it is actually a comma separated file, believe it or not, except the delimiter are carets, characters instead of commas. So it's still a CSV, it's just a caret separated values file. So one nice thing about PowerShell is you can pretty much import that entire CSV using this one command here, right? Import CSV, you're specifying the delimiter, which is the caret, the path, and we're going to store it in this variable called result. And now I'll execute this line. We're taking result. We're just going to select the first 10 records and we're going to format it as a table. And there you can see the data. So something else that's interesting is if we do a result.count, we can take a look at how many records there are in there. So 3,918. So right here on this line, I just took the first element and displayed it on the console, and I did that off the recording because it just prints so much data. And I'll just show you here. I'm just scrolling through a single entry. I mean, this is how many. This gives you an idea of how many fields are in each of these rows. So with this line here, I'm actually going to count how many fields there are in this first item, this first row. So if we execute that, we're seeing there's 2,333 fields. So if I show the first 30 records using this command here, I'll just select that and hit or if you just have the line or the cursor on that line and hit F8, it'll run that line. And you can see the column names are these weird like coded, field names. So if you go back to the example PDF report, you can see here these different codes. Like to get, let's say this number here, you'd look at BHDM and then 1797. So you just put them together and then there's your field name. So that's how you can find those. And so here you can see a table I've generated by going through the bulk data. And this matches that first chart that SEC Digger posted. You can see first on the list is Ocean Bank shares. And you can see it's sorted by this column here, which is a percentage, loans secured by non-farm, non-residential properties as a percentage of total assets. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to cover for now. Like I said, you should definitely check out SEC Digger stuff if you haven't already. Putting out really, really good quality work, and I just wanted to help explain a little bit of it so some of y'all can maybe appreciate it a little better. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.